All right, just before we start, I wanted to ask you guys one thing because I wanted to ask a lot of like people who do strictly one mixed martial art at this point in their career. Where do you want to take jiu-jitsu right now? Because there's a bunch like Pat just got off of competing for $25,000. So there is an avenue to make a bunch of money, especially at 16 years old. There's a lot of ways to make money in this sport, but do you plan on taking it further to like MMA, or is this sort of what you want to do for now?
For me at least, I want to do MMA as well and other combat sports, but I know there's a lot of like jiu-jitsu athletes that just rather strictly stick to jiu-jitsu, and it's like more of their craft. Like I know Pat wants to do jiu-jitsu strictly more until he gets like his black belt. Then he said he might try an MMA fight.
I always say like,
he might try one, but I think that there's a lot of, it depends on who you are as an athlete, of course, but there is good money in jiu-jitsu. Like guys like Gordon Ryan are making millions off just their instructional videos, like not even competing.
Yeah, he's changing the game for jiu-jitsu and mixed martial arts, like not even mixed martial arts, just all the martial arts. He's changing the game for how to make money in the game because, you know, other than boxing, all the other martial arts were very, very small. It's a tight-knit community. But Gordon Ryan sort of spreading it out, especially for jiu-jitsu, to where now jiu-jitsu's...
MMA seem to be like the most viewed combat sports out of all of them.
and
Yeah.
from like a money standpoint, like you're not guaranteed always money in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Especially if you get to like a professional standpoint, you're like, yeah, of course, like, but like you're like younger than like a purple or blue belt at the time.
Yeah.
You're getting money. Like all the high professional like tournaments, like 50 grand, 25K,
Yeah.
100K, like if you win.
Yeah.
It's not always guaranteed. So like it's different for like UFC.
Yeah,
Definitely.
definitely. And I guess that goes to like, I guess for jiu-jitsu, it's more you have the opportunity.
Like for your career.
If you have the opportunity to, but I guess that quote from Dana White, it more applies to jiu-jitsu than it does to MMA, where like the sport is an opportunity, not a career. Like you have the opportunity to make the 25,000 at EBIs or something like that.
It's mainly just like work, like teaching, teaching.
Yeah.
Instead of like
doing
performing,
private
competing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely like different from the UFC because like
Yeah.
you're gonna fight, you're gonna get this amount of money, and then like if you win your match, you potentially fight, you get more money.
Yeah.
Like 50K.
Yeah,
Like
it's
jiu-jitsu. You're paying to like do a tournament, and you're not
Yeah.
making money out of it. At like a beginning standpoint, until you get to that level.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time to get to that level with other people.
Like competitions make you stand out more. Like even as like a pro athlete, like or a black belt or a high athlete, like a coach that probably competes more. Like more students who probably want to like see or train under that guy who's like has a bunch of medals under his name and stuff like that.
So speaking on competition, both of you guys just came off of competing this weekend. Pat, you competed on UFC Fight Pass. I think it was EBIs.
It was just strictly I've competed at EBI before, but this event was just strictly like the UFC Fight Pass Invitational.
Fight Pass Invitational. Okay.
UFC,
Yeah.
It was
So UFC Fight Pass specifically invited you to do this?
After I competed at the EBI 20, I got like a DM like, oh, if you're like willing, do you want to fight at the next event? It's the Absolutes, which is like no weight class, any weight, any rank.
Oh, hold up. Press your button. There you go. Now you can continue.
So absolutes meant like any weight, any rank, so anyone
Yeah.
from like 150 pounds to like 300, so I got the DM, like I'm always like, hell yeah, like fuck it, let me get like the exposure, like I don't care if like who I get, I'm just like happy like being there. But like they asked for like photos, just even being like on UFC Fight Pass, just getting like a bunch of exposure. Like I was also posted the week before on my Heloquin at EBI.
Yeah.
So EBI is streamed on UFC Fight Pass, and then UFC saw like just my big exposure from like EBI, like being the youngest to compete on there. And ever since then I was just like training hard, just waiting for the day to get my to showcase my jiu-jitsu, and that was last Thursday. I flew out Tuesday, and just chilled in Vegas, you know, just get my mindset right. But like, even though I didn't come out like the right outcome, I'm just like happy like being there and just happy like I'm part of like this like community in jiu-jitsu world basically.
Yeah, definitely. We'll get back to your submission win at EBI's,
yeah.
but you competed this weekend. You won gold. Can you tell us about the tournament you competed in?
Yes,
'Cause it's not.
I competed in a good fight tournament. They do tournaments all over the East Coast, but I compete in a lot of like sub only like local tournaments all the time. Like from ranks from white to purple. I started doing white, and then like once I hit blue, I did a couple blue belt tournaments, and then I'm still blue belt, but I compete at purple just to challenge myself. And I've been competing at blue for a while, so I kind of just want to compete at purple now. Just because now I'm on like closer to getting my purple belt because I've been blue belt for a while and competing at blue belt for a while. So just to challenge myself, and I won gold at purple belt, and I've done purple belt matches before and won. So I just feel good at purple belt. I feel confident there versus purple belt. So I'll be competing at purple belt from now on, and then of course if I get my purple belt soon, then maybe I'll compete against brown belt soon. It's just I kind of go off how I feel in training, and I feel very well in training. I have a match coming up in January on same card as Pat. Pat will be defending his finisher's belt for the heavyweight championship. It'll be streamed on Flow Grappling and finishers in Bethlehem. So I'm very excited about that. I'm 1-0 on there, trying to get my second win. Training hard every
Against
day.
the purple belt.
Yeah, against another purple belt. Yeah.
First purple belt.
And I'm just gonna keep going. Eventually, I'm thinking about starting training at No Limits soon and getting more striking and MMA in, and then trying to get an MMA fight next year as well.
Oh, that's sick. And you're gonna be competing on Flow Grappling. Yeah, my cousin, he's
excited.
he's a black belt. He's
Nice.
he competed on Flow Grappling.
What's his
he's Dominic Galuccio.
Where is he training?
He was in Denver when he competed. Now he's in Washington State. But
You know where he trains or not?
I don't remember the gym, but
I saw a face for like where he trained. I'd probably know him. The name sounds very familiar.
Yeah, I'll definitely look into him.
Galucci.
Definitely look into him.
Yeah, and but yeah, so you said on like your Instagram post about gold medal, you won a bunch of your matches via rear naked choke. Is that your go-to submission? Because I've also seen on your Instagram you like to go for the Kimura a bunch.
Yeah,
is that your go-to? Or
Definitely Kimuras more. I land a lot of Kimuras from full guard. It was actually like the first submission that I ever hit like in a training room. When I first started like training MMA at 17, I like the first submission I ever landed was like a Kimura from full guard, and it just like stuck with me over the years.
It seems that way. And what about your style makes you good with the Kimuras out of full guard?
I'm a big guard player. Like a lot of guys that I train with know I always play a lot of guard. Like a lot of guard attacks. Like mostly full guard. Like I do play my open guard a lot. I've been working on my sweeps from there a lot, but I land a lot more upper body submissions than I do lower, like leg attacks and stuff. Like you see Pat, getting all the heel hooks and straight ankles. I only have like one leg lock finish so far, and then all my other wins. I have like over 20 submission, like 20 wins. Some by ride time, like over 20 now, but like all of them are like upper body subs except for one.
And you said one of your wins was in overtime. Do they have the same overtime rules as the EBIs? Where it's,
it's the same. It's like if it's purple belt, it's like a 10-minute match, and then it goes to EBI overtime.
Okay.
Yeah, for most matches at least.
Yeah, because I remember because I watched the Fight Pass Invitational, and a bunch of the matches went to overtime.
Yeah,
it's one of the more entertaining things of
Super
jiu-jitsu that I've seen, trying to see people get out of back control in that way.
Yeah.
Especially the Gordon Ryan match. That was very high.
Especially like if two competitors are going like at it back to back for like a whole 10-minute match, and now he starts on the back, like who knows who can finish, and like the other guy has a chance to submit him in this amount of time. Like it's just like intense, like how fast did I get out, when they like check the time. Like when I fought at the EBI qualifier, I thought I lost the finals. I thought like, oh fuck, like, or like I missed like the time, I got out like too slow. Yeah. And then when they raised my hand, there's a photo of it. You see like my face like in shock, and the other guy like pissed off, and like I thought I lost, and that like intensity and just like stressing was like
and if it doesn't,
insane.
If it doesn't end in a tap, it's
goes the fastest
fastest
escape.
escape.
Yeah. So who from the 3 rounds. So
Yeah.
some of them are 1, some of them are 3. They go top of the first, bottom of the first, and like top of the second, bottom of the second, and they all like add them up.
Yeah.
In the maximum like 2-minute time.
So now, off of that, let's go back to your EBI heel hook. It kind of went a little viral, and it's kind of developed a reputation.
Yeah.
A lot of people online were saying that you don't give people a chance to tap, and I know that, and I wanted to bring this up with both of you here because some of these accusations has spread to like the coaching and the gym itself at 10th Planet, and so I wanted to give both of you a chance to respond to these like accusations of that and like what I mean, what's your response to that sort of accusation?
From my standpoint, I've had like a bunch of like scenarios where like
Point this to your face.
I had a bunch of scenarios like
Yeah.
like I'm not trying to tap to this like teenager, like nothing's gonna happen, or like it's obvious, or it's a common you see it a lot, you see a lot like people's like not limbs breaking, but like getting the pops, like arm pops, leg pops, getting put to sleep, but like from when you're at a higher level, especially if like say your ankle's like popping, like I let my ankles pop,
Yeah.
I know like it's gonna be swollen for like a week, but I'm gonna be able to train. Like
Yeah.
I know like I'm in danger when like I feel it in my knee where like it can affect me the most.
Yeah.
So like I can take like an ankle pop, like my arm popped at the UFC Fight Pass Invitational.
Yeah.
Like I was training. I just finished training 2 hours ago. I feel great. I knew when to tap because I knew when like my arm.
So you're saying that these people were.
It's just knowing.
So you're saying you gave them the opportunity.
Yeah, I
they
gave
decided
them.
Not to.
Yeah, exactly like that. Okay. And like people don't notice that the guy tapped twice before really getting submitted. So I got him in 2 pressing arm bars before that, and you can see in the video him tapping my chest, but the ref didn't see. So I was like, 3rd time's a charm. Must tap this time. And
you're told to go until the ref.
Yeah, so like you keep spinning until the ref says stop. It's not my time to say stop. It's his time. He's gonna go off from what he sees.
Yeah,
but like I wouldn't say if you want to.
A lot of people also forget that like all jokes aside, is a combat sport. Like the tournament I just did was like a local like East Coast tournament, and I saw somebody get choked out and like passed out. They seized, some girl got her neck popped. It's a brutal sport. Like when you tune in to UFC every weekend and people get knocked out, you would never be like, oh, punch that guy softer. You know what I mean? It's kind of the same thing in jiu-jitsu. Even and Pat did kind of give him a second to tap. Like once a guy. You can see him hand fighting in the beginning, and then once he like loses that grip on Pat's hand and Pat catches the heel, he could have tapped there because it only takes 1 second from a guy lifting his hips up and twisting your leg for your whole leg to break. So if you have no grips anymore, and the guy has a tight bite on your heel, you should just tap there.
And it's also for like $50,000,
Yeah,
especially being at the age I am.
Tournament,
I'm
people
to,
make that money in like a year.
Yeah, it's a lot of money to be competing for. So I understand the fact that even if it was a little quick, you could be want them out of there.
I know, but I hate seeing people get hurt.
And that was a 4th degree black belt, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it takes usually like I would say 10 years to get your black belt.
Yeah.
And every time you get a degree, it's like a year you've been at black belt. So he's 4 years at black belt. Okay. And I was still a blue belt at the time.
So
he has a.
When I saw the clips, to me it's when it said that it was a 4th degree black belt, and then people were saying like it's a 4th degree black belt and they didn't give him the opportunity to tap. I'm like, he's a 4th degree black belt. He should know once he loses that either A, don't lose that type of position to a blue belt, or 2, if you do lose that position, tap, because he's got the most experience out of you two. He's definitely been the more seasoned guy in jiu-jitsu. He should know once you lose that leg position, it takes a second for you to roll over and his leg could snap.
And it's not like I was only trying to hurt him. Like he's trying to kill me. I'm trying he's trying to break me. I'm trying to break him. Whoever gets it in the better of us, like won. You know,
Yeah.
like, I'm completely fine with
So
like
did-
my ankles like popping, my arms popping, and me getting like
so did
choked out.
the guy you who you
Yeah.
submitted, did he
didn't put
have
me-
anything to say?
He
to
didn't put
you?
me in any danger, but like after like all like the comments, like the reposts,
Yeah.
like the Reddits, Twitters, everything, we did like an article, and the guy, the next day, the guy was hiking in Vegas. I saw his story. He was
Yeah.
riding quads and
Yeah,
hiking. So
I saw a lot of people trying to say like, yeah, he was like, if
and
you
he did.
watch,
We
if
did
you
an
watch the
article
clip and
after.
if you let it play like 10 seconds more than what's going around, the guy stood up.
Yeah, and he was shaking his knee,
The guy was just, he was walking around. Yeah, he had a little limp because again, you just
the adrenaline and everything.
His
yeah.
leg, like you just lost adrenaline. That probably hurts like a bitch.
Yeah.
But his leg popped, so yeah, he's limping. But it's not like a bone broken
Yeah,
there.
it's
Or
not like it
anything.
completely,
he was
like-
able to walk on
Yeah.
it. So I thought it might have
Probably
been
was like a little swollen, maybe like the next week. But like we did an
Yeah.
article, and he said he was fine. So like I'm not gonna like
Was
make a
that the
post about it.
Was that the BJJ news art?
I think so. I'm
Because
not I'm
that's
too sure.
where I first heard about this, and in some ways that's where I heard that people were very split on this.
I'm not gonna make a post be like, oh, like guys, like stop hating, like the guy's fine. I'm just gonna let everyone talk and like
Yeah.
be selfish.
Yeah,
It's funny to me, you know. Like I'm not really like affected to it.
yeah.
Like I'm
Oh,
just.
that's good,
I'm
yeah.
just doing me, you know. Like I'm living life. I'm happy. Like I've been more accomplished than any of the people in the comments. I'm just letting people do their thing and me laughing on the other side of the screen, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'll just be like, sometimes I'll see like a funny like comment, and I'll just like repost like I'm your daddy or something, and I'll get tight.
But did that guy like in the moment? Did that guy have any like? Did that guy say anything to you? Like, did
I've
you
seen so
did
many
you
funny
let
comments.
like? Did that guy tell you like what the fuck?
Oh,
or was he
I think
was he cool about it because he submitted you?
I think he said something like, I didn't know there was like any intergender matches, like just because I rock my like long hair. It was just like a stupid comment, and like I went on YouTube, there was like, oh, this kid should get like shot. And I'm like, damn, like I didn't even snap his leg. I saw another one like he should get put to sleep and both his knees snapped, and like
yeah, it's on YouTube. And
There was
on TikTok and all that. It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen people go to that extent. What the things
It's all like
I've
a
seen,
Reddit and, like,
what
Twitter is
I've
where,
what
like, you
I've
won't
seen
get
is
banned.
more he'll learn when it happens to him.
oh yeah,
That's
which like it never happens.
I've
'cause
seen.
I know when
I've
to
seen.
tap.
Like I even heard that from some people I know who are
It's always
in
like
the jiu-jitsu scene. They said like, yeah, he'll learn when he's, because again, a lot of people put this on age, and that's
Yeah.
where that's why I wanted to get your response to this, because
it's the main comments I've seen is like, I hope karma gets to him.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
and it's like,
I mean,
yeah, like just like my long hair. I'm like, what does my hair have to do with that? Like, but you know, from the comments for me, like, I know some people probably think like, oh, like he's just like trying to fake it, but like for real, like I'm just living my life completely fine.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm waking up every day happy, you know, smiling, just performing my art, loving what I do. You know,
Yeah.
like some people are sitting on a desk chair like with their back bent like this, and
Yeah.
like barely making like not money, but like just their life is miserable. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they're not happy with life. They go home, go in their recliner, lay back, fall asleep on TV.
yeah.
But like
And I mean,
I'm out here like teaching,
Yeah.
being happy after, like just having like the best life as like a kid. You know, like not like bragging,
Yeah.
but like I'm happy what I'm doing. You know, unlike
Yeah.
some people that are commenting.
yeah, man, it's I can see how this could be a whirlwind for you, being that young and having to deal with all this online hate. I'm glad I'm glad you're handling it
This is
the
just
best
like
way you can, because
this is just the beginning. You know, like
Yeah.
I just made my standpoint, but now there's more to come. You know, like I'm still young, but like they don't know what's gonna happen when I'm like 18, 19. Like I'm just gonna skyrocket through everything. I'm gonna just change jiu-jitsu pretty much. I think, especially now at a young age, like this is just like the beginning of everything, of the adult Slayer.
Right. So, for both of you, what were your inspirations in getting into jiu-jitsu and martial arts in general?
That's it. I think you should go.
I started training when I was a little kid. from what really inspired me when I was a kid was like cartoons. Like, I liked watching like cartoons like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and like Naruto and shit, and like all Teen Titans, like just watching people like fighting cartoons and all that stuff, like all the ninja stuff. I wanted to I went up to my mom and I was like, I want to do like fighting, and like in my mom's eyes, jiu-jitsu was like the safest form of like fighting because I couldn't get punched or anything. So I did it for a while when I was a kid, and then I ended up quitting. Which is funny because the place I went to when I was a kid, he actually went to at one point when he was a kid as well.
We know a bunch of people that went to the same place, but at different like times.
When I was around like younger than probably like 10, I was around like 7 or 6 at the time. Yeah, early 2000s. Like, but then after that, I didn't train until my 17th birthday. I always liked fighting. But when I turned 16 again, it's just like I loved it again. Like I was always watching boxing and everything. I always wanted to get back into it. Yeah. And you went to school with me. I was always a knucklehead doing dumb shit all the time. But it's just like on my 17th birthday, literally my 17th birthday, I signed up for MMA at an MMA gym called Vamos, and I was there for like 4 months, and then COVID hit. And then when COVID hit, I was just training with whoever, and I actually met Pat and his dad through a friend of mine that was training with them, and I've been training with them ever since. So I've been training for about 3 years now, consistently, like every day, like 3 to 5 days a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's funny because like I wasn't really as like motivated to jiu-jitsu as much as like when people start. You know, I was a little kid when I started. I was 6. You know, I was like, oh, let me just try this sport, you know. And, you know, I didn't really like it at first. I did a bunch of sports when I was little, you know. I played soccer, I played basketball, you know. Did a little wrestling through high school, but, like, nothing inspired me more as jiu-jitsu did, you know, especially during quarantine where I didn't have a choice to, like, go hang out with some friends, go to the mall, you know. Like, all I did was train 2 times a week with my dad and a couple of buddies to mine. So, like, as soon as that pattern got into, like, oh, I'm liking this, you know, like, I was kind of like not like forced into it, but like I didn't have a choice, you know. Like I was just training, you know. That's all I had to do, and that just stuck in my head, you know. Just I want to do this full time, you know, and actually take this seriously. Like motivated me to, and just not myself, you know. Everyone there in that training room, like it wasn't just like it started off as 2 people, but then we had like 25 people. We had people out the door waiting to roll, you know, like people there like motivating me to do my sport, giving me like this like the supporting like. Where we're at right now, like 10th Planet is just like they're not just like a school, you know. That's like family. That's like our family. I can go there like and not just train, like actually have a good time, have like laugh, like talk about jiu-jitsu, like oh you want to grab some food after, you know, just have like they're like family there, you know. The best community, definitely in like Long Island.
Okay, yeah.
And just ever since then, like with my like photography and like my highlights, my business and media and my tournament, it's just like inspired me so much, not myself but like also my friends like supporting me, you know, and just motivating me to do what I do, because if it wasn't for them, I feel like I wouldn't be where I'm at now, you know. And he started training at my house, so like we kind of started like actually getting motivated to do this at the same time with a few of our buddies. So it was a great experience. Like I feel like a lot of people said they like quarantine or COVID like killed them, but I feel like it like made me who I am, who I'm now. You know, some people took it differently. I feel like we got it like the good.
Yeah, that's awesome. But do any of you guys have any like? Did anyone inspire your style, like your leg lock
like jiu-jitsu style?
Yeah. Did any like jiu-jitsu player or like MMA fighter, anyone inspire your style?
Like I've you know, obviously like I always try to take stuff from my coaches. You know, I try to take a little bit from them, but like the main like. Jiu-jitsu, I would say like both like the Meow brothers, Paulo and Zhao, like Lachlan Giles from his leg locks. I'd say like the Meows from their open guard, like Lachlan to his like leg locks, like his 50-50 specifically, and just like mainly those few things, but like trying to like include like wrestling more, you know, like and like the passing from Gordon, like the foot sweeps from like people in B team, but like I don't try to stick to like one person. I try to take a little few things from like different people's games and like try to add them to mine, you know. I don't know who yours is. Could be MMA. Could be jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, if it comes to like MMA, I would have to give
Flip
it
the
to.
flip the.
Oh my bad. If I were to pick for like MMA grapplers, I would have to go with like Gilbert Burns is definitely on top, just like for MMA jiu-jitsu, because like not he does have good jiu-jitsu, but like his MMA jiu-jitsu is where it comes in. Him, Charles Oliveira, GSP, BJ Penn, and Mackenzie Dern. Mackenzie Dern's a savage. Like every fight she does is like a submission onslaught on her opponents.
She accused too.
Yeah, she.
But
yeah,
for
I mean,
strictly
she's probably one
jiu-jitsu,
of the most accoladed jiu-jitsu players to go into
Yeah.
MMA.
exactly.
Ronda Rousey's.
Yeah, her judo was
Judo.
insane. Like Khabib, obviously.
Mackenzie Dern just competed on the UFC Fight Pass.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
it was
saw
good
that,
to see
yeah.
like UFC jiu-jitsu competitor against like
Yeah.
strictly jiu-jitsu competitor.
But
You see
for
the difference.
jiu-jitsu purposes, like a lot of guys that they like to compare me to, like a lot of full guard players, like or upper guys that
Yo,
attack upper bodies,
He's the
attack like
future Jacob Couch.
yeah, like
Oh,
Jacob Couch or Roberto Gimnez, I've been called sometimes. Gorilla Hands. I have similar games to them.
I'd say mainly Jacob
Even
Couch.
like Emily Hernandez, if you know who she is, she's like a full guard player a lot. She, like a lot of full guard players. But like that's like I don't want to just strictly stay to what I'm good at. Like I want to get a lot better. Like Jacob Couch, like you said, he has a really good full guard game, but his leg locks are also really deadly.
Yeah.
So I would like to get my leg locks like as deadly as his. And
Speaking on that, like, yeah, a full guard game is good in
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu, but the full guard game doesn't really translate
No.
well if you're trying to go
no,
into
of course
MMA.
not. Of course not. But
full guard game sort of is hinging on you not being
Yes.
able to get punched in the face.
yes, very true. Very
So-
true.
So are you looking to try and switch that up, like switch your style up a little bit if you're going to go into the MMA route?
Yes, I do MMA sparring sometimes. I work on my takedowns and everything, and I do have like I am good at things besides full guard. I do have good passing and everything. I'm really good at my back control. I have very good back control. I'm good at a lot of other things, but it's just you see like when guys get in my full guard, that's the thing that like pisses them off the most. Like when they're in my full guard, they're just like, what the hell? It's insane. But that's it for jiu-jitsu purposes. It is good to like for MMA purposes, it's good to know like a different kind of jiu-jitsu. Like if you have someone in full guard, you necessarily don't want to stay in full guard and look for subs the whole time. You want to look for
Learn
sweeps or
sweeps
get
and all
up
that
or
stuff,
try to get up. Yeah, you could still like sit there, but like Michael Bisping said it the best. Like you want to look for maybe like 1 to 3 subs and then just get up. You don't want to sit there looking for subs the whole fight, getting punched in the face like that. Like
that's when the fight looks like Kevin Holland versus Derek Brunson.
Yeah, exactly.
He's sitting in guard, just
No. Brian Boone's, like, not the recent match, but the one before that.
Oh, Kelleher, yeah.
Yeah,
won,
he
like,
held the guy in full guard and
total
just
dominance, like
Yeah.
on top.
Yeah.
Just took him down, wailing punches on him. Like the guy didn't have a chance. I'm
He
pretty
trains
sure.
with us. He's a beast,
Yeah,
man.
he's a
Oh,
brown-
Kelleher's trained with you
yeah,
guys?
he's a-
That's
he's a brown
that's
belt
sick.
under Steve Caston.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
I trained
That's
with
sick.
him a bunch, but he like held the guy. I'm pretty sure it's like 15 minutes. So
the whole round of each round. So there's 5 minutes in a round.
Yeah.
So he held him for like that whole time, like
Yeah,
total
it's-
dominance.
Yeah, Boom has had a few performances. Like he's a very grapple heavy.
Yeah.
Boom.
He's a
a killer.
He unfortunately lost his 2 fights, but I think he's having another fight like in January,
I think
which
so.
I'm excited
Yeah.
for. I don't remember who he's versing, but I'm excited. Every time he fights,
Sean
it's
O'Malley.
exciting.
Get him that match.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
Well, speaking on like Long Island
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu MMA guys, one way that the MMA grappling is changing is the Aljamain Sterling style, where it's
Yeah.
like it's back control, back control, back control.
Yeah.
Where like it's the Charles Oliveira way, where it's like you shoot for takedown. Their takedown accuracy is super low, but it's because they're not looking for the takedown. They're looking for them to escape, expose their back, jump on it, and get the rear naked. Is that sort of a way that you think MMA is starting to turn, or do you think there's another sort of style that's going to take over at some point?
I think any style of like mixed martial art can like be the other style.
Yeah.
We do see a lot of like dominant like grapplers or dominant strikers like Francis Ngannou is like known for his power. He's a champion right now. Alex Pereira is an amazing striker who's a champion right now. Guys like Islam, who's like out grappling everybody in his whole division. Like he's a champion of grappling. Like
I'd say like Charles Oliveira and like Chandler. You know, like Chandler obviously got like the good striking, and like Oliveira, you know, got dropped, but submitted him. Like you see, like all Oliveira's title defenses are like from like I'm pretty sure all like submissions. You know.
yeah.
But also you need to have like good striking. You can't like depend your like jiu-jitsu to win everything, you know. You could get like dropped and like knocked out.
It's good to be a balanced fighter, but you see fighters that like love to stick to their like even though they are balanced a little bit everywhere, they like to stick to like their main thing. Like someone like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, who's known for his karate. Like he karate black belt to the bone, walks out, karate gi, karate black belt, throws karate kicks the whole fight. Now he just won a fight in his 40s against Kevin Holland, an up and coming middleweight, which is a big win.
That was a fucking sick
was
fight.
really super sick. But he actually landed like an armbar in his early career. Like he has one submission win, so like you got to be balanced a little bit everywhere. You know what I mean? So even guys like that have submission wins on people. You know what I mean? So you got to have a little bit of balance everywhere. But it's okay for like one thing to stick out more than the other thing with fighters. Like Charles Oliveira is known for his submissions, but he knocked out Michael Chandler. Like that guy's a fucking tank. Like that. So like you got to be balanced everywhere.
He definitely rounded out his game more than
exactly
people give him credit for.